If you like this video, make sure to visit our Vimeo page and follow us to get the latest update.
So yesterday we are talking about the house banks. Okay, so we are creating an account in the house bank accounts. Okay, so for example, yesterday we discussed about how to create a bank account key, that is the bank key. Okay, we have created one bank yesterday. The bank name we have given it as a HDFC bank, and the details, if I want to go to the details, HDFC bank. Okay, so here you can see the details. Okay, this is the bank we have created and this is the address which is fetching from the bank key. Okay, so for this bank we need to create some accounts, bank accounts. Okay, now we are implementing the bank communication management, so it has to go through the workflow process. So during the workflow process, we cannot directly create this bank directly in the GUI. See, till yesterday, that in the SAP ECC, when you go back to your SAP ECC, we created the house bank and we are creating the bank account IDs and everything in the GUI because there is no approval process earlier. But today they have implemented the approval process because we are going to be using the bank account management and the bank communication management. So now directly instead of GUI, it is going to be created through the NetViewer. Okay, so that is the approval process we are going to be, if it doesn't follow the approval process also, but it has to be moved to the NetViewer. So here you can see here, if I go to the bank account, it is telling that only read access only be provided. You cannot create any house bank. So there is an option called the create bank accounts. When you want to create a bank accounts, these bank accounts are created in NetViewer business client or in the FIORI, not directly in the GUI. You cannot create in the GUI. In SAP ECC, we can directly create in the GUI. Directly, there is no connectivity to the FIORI. So, but today, when I click on the create bank accounts, it is routing me to the SAP business client that is going to be called as the NetViewer client. Okay, so the NetViewer client. Okay, so here, in this particular process, in this server, actually the network client is not activated. So what I will do, I will copy this web service application. Okay, very, very important. I will copy this web address, and what I will do, I will open the Google. Okay, I will open the Google Explorer. Okay, so I'll be pasting over here. The same link I will be pasting here in the Google. Okay, so very, very important. Okay, so now I'll be pressing enter. Okay, here you can see here who is the user and it is asking the username and everything. Okay, it is asking the username and everything. Okay, so you have to provide the username and the password. Very, very important here. So normally how the FIORI look like? The FIORI look like, okay, here you can see the FIORI look like this. Okay, so when I go to the FIORI, a FIORI is a web application server. It is called as a web application. Okay, it is going to be the front end. I'm going to take some classes on the FIORI also. Okay, I just copying this web service. Okay, link. Okay, I'm just copying this and I'll go to the Okay, I'll go to the. Okay, now I'll be pasting here the same link I'll be using from the Google application. Okay, and it is going to ask the username and the password. A FIORI is nothing but a flower. In the Latin, the FIORI is nothing but a flower. It is the front-end application server. We are going to be calling it as the front-end application server. Okay, so give the username. Okay, the same username you are going to be using for the login. The same username you are going to be using for the login from the SAP GUI. What is the username? S20 user 09. I'll be giving the same username. Okay, so S20 user 09 and the password will be the same. And in which language, and click on the logon. So these are the FIORI. So you are segregating the tiles, okay, and you're giving a heading to each and every tile. So all my general ledger accounts should come over here, and all the master data related apps should come here, and all my journal entries should come over here. Journal entries means you're posting the day-to-day transactions, outgoing payments, incoming payments, and everything, all my general ledger transactions. Like this, what I done here, I had a separate heading for each and every FIORI, and I segregated the FIORI apps according to the categorization here. Okay, I'll take the classes. I told that I'll be taking. So from here, you are going to be creating a house bank. Okay, so here you are going to be creating a house bank. So what we have to do here? So for creating a house bank, so 1 second, I just copy this. I'll be pasting. Okay. Now, through the SAP network, okay, so I want to create a new house bank account ID. See here, I'm opening an app called as the bank account. We call it as a bank account. We call it as a house bank account app will be there. There will be two apps will be there. One app name is going to be called as the manage house bank. And the second one is going to be called as the bank account ID for creating the bank account ID. There will be two apps. Please always you have to remember that. So one is going to be called as a manage house bank, where you can directly create the house bank through the FIORI by using the app called as a manage house bank. Another one is called as a bank account ID. We are going to be creating the bank account. Yes, we have created a house bank directly through. We have created yesterday, we have created a house bank. This is my house bank. Okay, you can see here. This is my house bank. I created directly in the SAP GUI. And there is an option where you can also create a house bank directly from the FIORI also. Instead of creating from the GUI, you can create. But the bank account ID, whatever the bank account you're supposed to get created, these bank accounts should be get created from the FIORI, not from the GUI. Why? Because you're activating the full scope of cash management, where you are implementing the bank account management and the bank communication management, where we require the approvals for this process. So that is the reason SAP has moved the bank information system directly to the FIORI. So this is how the bank accounts are getting created. I went into the FIORI. So the app name is going to be called as a create a new bank account. Okay. And very, very important here. If you have a server, if you have a system landscape, okay, you have three system landscape. This is my development system. This is called as my quality and assurance system. And this is what exactly I call it as my production system. Very, very important here. This is your development system, dev system. This is your quality and assurance system. And this is your production system. So, example, the front end, we call it as a GUI. So till yesterday, we are going to be using the front end as a GUI. Okay, GUI is nothing but your front end. Okay. Graphical user interface. GUI is nothing but your front end. We are going to be using the front end as a GUI. So in every system, you can see there will be a GUI application will be there. But now the front end, what we are going to be using is going to be called as a FIORI. FIORI is going to be called as a front end. So what I'm going to do through the OSS connectivity, I'm connecting the FIORI to my application called as my S4 application. This is my front end. I'm connecting my FIORI to my application. This is called as the FIORI. FIORI, I'll tell you, as I told you that I'll be taking some classes on the FIORI. In that classes, I'm going to be explaining you more detailed way what is the FIORI and how it works and what is the importance of the FIORI, why it is going to be called as a role based, why it is called as a user friendly. We'll discuss in more detail. Now this FIORI application, whatever the FIORI application I'm going to be working, whether this FIORI application was connected to your server or not. This is your server. Front end server. Very, very important. Your application server. Whether the FIORI got applicated. So whatever the activity you're going to be doing, whatever the information you're providing in the FIORI, whether this FIORI was connected to your application or not. If the FIORI is not connected to your application, whatever the information you're going to be providing, that information will not trigger to your house bank. Means that information will not flow to your application for creating a house bank account. So for every system, make sure that there will be a separate FIORI OSS connectivity should be there. In the real time also, when we are going to be working in the production or in the quality or in the development, you have to see that whether the FIORI connection is established or not. If the FIORI connection is not established, but if the FIORI is working, but the FIORI connection is not established, then whatever the house banks means, whatever the activity you're doing in the FIORI, that will not flow the data to your application server. Your application server is nothing but this is your application server. But how do I confirm, Mahesh? Can you please tell us whether the FIORI is connected to this application or not? Simple. Go to the system. And here we have a status. All of you, please remember that we have a status over here. And click on the product version. Go to the installed product version. And here you can see here your FIORI has been activated or not. Here you can see SAP S4HANA for 2020 initial shipment stock, and the FIORI is connected to here. You can see here. Very, very important, my dear friends. Yes, the FIORI has been installed. It is the front-end application what I'm going to be using right now. So you can see here the FIORI was activated. So now, when I come to the FIORI, now I need to create all my bank account IDs. Whatever the bank account ID you're going to be calling, those bank account IDs, now I cannot create it directly here. So I need to create it through the FIORI. So this is the bank account ID app. Now I'm creating an account ID for my house bank. What is your house bank? Your house bank name is HDFC. Okay, something like, okay, you're given the house bank name as your HDFC is nothing but your bank. For this bank, now I'm creating the account ID. Okay, so now here I open that particular FIORI app. You can see here the FIORI app name is going to be called as the bank account app. And here you're going to be giving that when you're opening this bank. Okay, 01/01/2021 is the opening of account in the bank. Okay, and what is the company code? Very, very important. Company code is 1710 company code. Country is an optional. Okay, company's country. If you want to give the country, you can account holder name. Account holder name. I'm just giving here. Okay, I'm just giving here Gerantech. The just Gerantech. Okay, what is the bank country? The bank country, if you know the bank country name directly, you can type here. Otherwise, you can go and take the help of SAP. Here, it will be providing all the bank accounts. Okay, so something like bank countries, US. Now here, this is very, very important. What is the bank key you are going to be using for creating an account here? So if you doesn't know, you have to go back to the house bank. And here you can see your bank key is nothing but 015555. Just copy this bank key and paste it over here. This is the bank key. I'm creating a bank account for the bank which I already created, that is HDFC Bank. For that HDFC Bank, I'm using the reference of my bank key for creating. The same bank key I'm going to be using for creating of my bank account. Okay, very good. In which currency? Okay, the currency is going to be the USD. IBAN number, international bank account number. If you're holding that, okay, otherwise leave it as a blank. Account number is a mandatory. What is your account number? Example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Example. Every bank, okay, you would be having an account number. That account number should be get provided over here. Account description. What type of account you are holding here? What type of account number and what is the account type you are going to be? Description of this account. Is it a loan account or it is a salary account, current account, or it is a something like saving account? What type of account it is going to be? Is it a salary account? You are going to be distributing the salaries from this account. Okay, then mention that salary account. It is going to be called as a salary account. And how do the SAP know that? You're just providing the description, it is a salary account, but what type of account? How do the SAP know that? Here you need to go to the type of accounts. Mahesh, we are very new to this type of accounts. How do I know that? Okay, just go to the search help. Just click on this search help. You can find all types of account. What type of account it is going to be? Current account or salary account, or it is going to be margin account, tax account, or loan account. What type of account it is? The lockbox account. What type of account it is? It is purely a salary account. So I'm selecting the account type as a 0H. I'm selecting the account type as a 0H. Mahesh, our account type is not allowed. Can we create? Yes, you can go and create. I'll show that how to create a new account type. I'm giving the account type as a 0H. Now I got all this information by this bank key. Now you can see this is my bank key. Through the bank key, I got all my information. This is my address of my bank. Very good. This is my address of my bank. For every bank, my dear friend, there should be a GL account. If you are making any transactions with this bank, there should be some GL account should be get. Okay. Where do we provide the GL account information in the bank? I given the bank account ID. This is my account ID. This is my bank number. This is my account. But where should I provide my bank account ID and I should provide? So here you can see there is a called as a bank account connectivity is there. Connectivity to your GUI. So if you click on this connectivity, okay, here we have an option called as add. All of you see here. Here we have an option called as an add. You're adding a bank account now. Click on the add. Now, account ID. For one house bank, you can have multiple accounts. Very, very important. If I see here, for example, okay, if I just go back, one step back, if I see one of the bank, okay, Citibank, okay, you have two accounts are there. One is going to be called as a saving account. Another one is going to be called as a current account. Okay, this is going to be called as account ID for the saving account and account ID for your salary account, saving account and the current account. In the same way, For your bank also, when you select your bank, that is HDFC, what is the account ID? At present, we don't have any account ID over here. So now you're going to be creating an account ID. Okay. So just for creating an account ID, don't open that. Okay. Initial sphere. Okay. You can write here. What is the account ID? It's a salary account. Okay. So account ID is the HDFC 01. I'm giving that as a 1. Okay. HDFC bank. I'm just giving a GL account. Very, very important here. This is called as the main bank account number. There will be sub accounts will be there. For example, if you're making an outgoing payment or incoming payment, there will be sub accounts will be there. But the main reconciliation account should be get provided here. What is the account you're going to be providing here? The account has to be get created first. Until or unless if you don't have the GL account, the bank account will not be get created, my dear friends. I'm telling you. So what is the GL account you are going to be created? So I'll go to the FS00. Now you can see here. I'll go to the FS00. If you have already have the GL account, you can take the same GL account. If you have already have the GL account, for example, let me take this. This is my GL account. Okay, this is my GL account. If you already have the GL account, you can take the GL account. But make sure that the GL account is always created. Very, very important. The GL account is always created. Either it should be the balance sheet account or it should be the cash accounts. All of you, please make a note. This is a very important interview question also. This is a very important interview question. All my bank accounts from today onwards, because it is centralized now, I'm going to be categorizing all my bank's accounts under the cash accounts from today onwards. This is a new type of account in SAP S4HANA 2020. Friends, I think all are okay. You're with me. I think okay. Any doubts are there in this particular clarification? I'm creating a bank account, and this is a balance sheet account, or it should be the cash account. So normally we'll take it as under the cash account because already there have been some postings have been made. So cash account. What type of cash account it is? Give the sub account type. What type of sub account you are going to be providing here? Very, very important. Is it a bank reconciliation account or it is a petty cash account? Again, it is giving the sub divide, or it is going to be called as the bank sub account. Mahesh, very, very important, Mahesh. Please make sure that very, very important. Please don't change it. It is a balance sheet account only. Very good. But when I can select these cash accounts, now, for example, let me take one example. Yeah, where we are here. Oh, here. Okay. When I can take the bank sub accounts, for example, here, you have a one bank, okay, you have a bank, okay, you call it as a Citibank. Okay, for the Citibank, there will be a main reconciliation account will be developed or not. There will be a main reconciliation account will be there. Main reconciliation account where you are going to be reconciling all your incoming and outgoing payments to this bank account. And for every bank, there will be some sub accounts will be there for incoming, for outgoing, for anything you are going to be maintaining some sub accounts. Very, very important. For incoming payment, I want a separate account, GL account. For outgoing payments, I want a separate GL account. And for other loan accounts, I want a separate GL account. These are going to be called as the sub accounts. We are going to be called them as the sub GL accounts. And finally, this sub GL accounts has to be get reconciled. These all the sub GL accounts has to be get reconciled to the main GL account or not. Finally, at the end of the day. So earlier, we are supposed to do the reconciliation, but today in SAP S4HANA, if you are creating any bank sub accounts, please categorize them. So what you have to do? Oh, sorry. You have to categorize them like this. Okay. So whenever you're creating any sub account, this is my main bank account. I don't want to change any main bank account. And these all are going to be called as my sub account. Check out, check in. You're issuing a checks to the vendor. You're receiving a checks to the customer, receiving the check, cash or anything which are related to the cash accounts or checks in. Okay. These all are going to be called as the sub accounts. Finally, this sub accounts has to be get reconciled to my main bank accounts, or it is a cash accounts. Whatever maybe. So when I take something about the checks in and the checks out, Mahesh, please make sure that this is the wrong category. You have done it, Mahesh. So please change it to the cash account. This is a cash account because this is a sub account. And here, once you're creating as a cash account, it is asking you what is the GL account subtype. Okay, you're creating it. What is the GL account? It is a sub account. So now I'm going to be using it as the sub account. You can see it is not a reconciliation account. It is not a main bank reconciliation account. It is going to be called as a sub account. I'm giving the sub account type as a yes. All of you, this is very, very important point I'm telling. This is very, very important. No, Mahesh, this is a main bank account, Mahesh. If it is a main bank account, you are going to be giving the sub account type as a B, which is main bank reconciliation account. You have to give it as a B. So this account, now whatever the account I'm going to be providing here, this is the main bank reconciliation account. So if I go to the centrally, very, very important. If I go to the centrally, now there is a main bank account is there. Already we have created that main bank account number is going to be called as this is my main bank account number. Always it has to be get created. This account is going to be called as my cash account. Under which cash account? I'm going to be categorizing the cash account. Under which cash account you are going to be taking? It is a B. B is nothing but main bank reconciliation account. I'm categorizing under the B. This is a new enhancement. Now, today onwards, there is no need to do any cancel because I'm going to be categorizing all your GL accounts under the GL account type called as the cash account. Earlier, we used to maintain a separate GL accounts and we had to categorize them separately. But now all your bank accounts or cash accounts will come under the categorization of the cash accounts. Now, this is my main bank account. Now, this account, what I'm going to do, this account, I'm going to be assigning to my bank account ID. Very, very important. Main bank account. Is it clear to all of you?
Hey Mahesh, I just have a question. So what happens if it's a brownfield implementation?
If it is exactly, you are absolutely correct. If it is the brownfield implementation you're talking about, when I do the system conversion from SAP ECC to SAP S4HANA. Okay, yes, very good question. Now, what I do here, the first activity is nothing but, first of all, I need to create the technical IDs. First of all, here, if I go to the SAP IMG, here you have it called as the conversion of accounting to SAP S4HANA. If I come to the conversion of SAP accounting, there are some prerequisites are there. So if I go to the conversion here, in this conversion, in SAP ECC, you have totally about 6 to 7 house banks or 50 house banks are there. So before I do the conversion, what I do here, you have an option called as preparation for migration of the house bank. In the preparation, you are creating some number ranges here. Define the number ranges for the bank technical ID. Why? Because you're going to be migrating all those house banks from SAP ECC to SAP S4HANA. So when the conversion is going to be happen, for every bank, there will be one technical ID. You're assigning some number ranges. As I told you that. So here you can see I given the number ranges. So totally 126 house banks you have been creating from the SAP ECC to SAP S4HANA. So technical ID should be get created first of all. So, and after that, for every bank, there will be some change request should be developed, okay? Because you are going to be doing, so 50 house bank change request I'm going to be creating. And once you create the number ranges, once this house, all the house banks are available in your SAP S4HANA, then what you're going to do, then I'm coming to this. Then I'm coming to this important point. Then I'm coming to this important point. Then it's a manual effort only. It is not an automated effort. It is a manual effort. So a consultant has to sit and he has to categorize all the GL accounts. If there are 20 GL accounts or 30 GL accounts, he has to do some manual activity by categorizing the GL accounts into the cash type. Earlier, what it looked like, it will be initially, it will be shown in your balance sheet account like this. Initially, after your conversion has been successfully completed, initially it will show under the balance sheet. But it is a manual intention, okay, that if you have 20 GL accounts or 30 GL accounts, you had to change and you have to sit and you have to change this categorization based on the new requirement, whether what type of account it is going to be, you're going to be categorizing. This is an effort you have to do by your own. Please, very, very important, because system doesn't know what are all going to be your GL accounts related to your bank account. This is a manual effort you have to do by your own, by sitting in front of the system and complete this activity before the go live.
Okay, thank you.
So this is my main bank account number. So this main bank account number, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be assigning to my house bank. What is your house bank? HDFC is nothing but house bank. You're creating for 1710 and your account ID. This is your account ID. If in one bank you have a multiple accounts, current account, salary account. So for every account, there should be an account ID should be get created. Very, very important. I'm creating an account ID, HDFC 1 example, and that number. Okay, this is my main bank account number. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here. So you see everything and the details are not missing. Okay, the house bank details and everything are going to be corrected, and you have an option called as a save option. Now you can click on save. Any errors are there, it will throw an errors. Okay, if there are no errors, the system will process the house bank creation. Okay. Bank account, salary account was created. Now you can see. Okay, the information is showing as a correct. Okay, filter successful message. Bank account, salary account was created. Very good. Now what I'll do here? Now I go to the GUI. All of you see here. I'll go to the GUI now. Come back. Again, come back to your original transaction FI12. All of you, come back to your original transaction FI12. Press enter. You have created your house bank for your company code. Select your company code. Select your company code. Double click on the house banks. Yes, Mahesh, we have the house bank. This is our house bank. Okay, very, very important. For the account I created for this bank, very important. Okay, now select your account only. Don't select other house banks. Select your bank, house bank which you have created. Now double click on the bank accounts. Now see whether that information has flowed to your GUI or not. Double click. Read access only. Now see here. See here, the information has come over here. Now see automatically, you can see here, very, very important. The GL account you have assigned, this is your bank account number. You can see you have given it as a salary account. Your bank account ID is HDFC and you have created the house bank. See here, now the information is flowed to here in house bank. I created this house bank account ID in your FIORI. How this information has been flow, as I told you that if there is a FIORI connection, if the OSS connection, okay, if there's O data connection, we can call it as the O data connectivity is established or not. If the O data connectivity is not established between the FIORI to your application, then the data will not flow from the FIORI to your application. So if I see that the bank account ID was created, then it is the information that you have to understand that the FIORI is connected to your application. The application is nothing but your S4 core application. This is your application. Very, very important.
Sorry, Mahesh, when you said O data, what does that mean?
It is the interface connectivity between the FIORI to your production system. Because FIORI is a separate application and your S4HANA means your S core is a separate application. S4 core is nothing but your application. So you are activating the FIORI and you are doing all your managed bank accounts not in the SAP. You are doing all these managed bank accounts in the FIORI. Through the FIORI, you are going to get activating all the bank accounts. So that data should flow to your S core or not. The data should show here or not. Whatever the activity I'm doing. If the data is not flowing means something like there is FIORI connectivity is not established to your S core, means O data interface connectivity is not established from the FIORI to your S core. Clear, sir?
Yep, no worries.
What data is nothing but it is an interface application. It is an interface application connectivity established from the front end. The FIORI is nothing but your front end. Please, all of you. Earlier, we are using the GUI as your front end. From today onwards, okay, you are using the FIORI as a front end application. Very, very important, which is getting connected to your field. Whatever the activities, if you are posting any transactions, or if you are creating any GL accounts, or if you are creating a vendor accounts or asset accounts, or if you are creating any house bank account, the data will flow to your FIORI. From the FIORI to your score. How? By their O data connectivity. Who will be connecting this? There will be a separate UI5 consultants are going to be working. FIORI consultant, they are going to be called as the FIORI consultant. Those consultants will establish this O data connectivity from the FIORI to the S4. So now this activity I have done directly in the FIORI. Now you can see I have not created anything here. I maintained all this activity from the FIORI. Now you can see this is the FIORI. So once I see that the FIORI application was activated, once I created this bank account ID, I see the data was flow into my GUI. I can see the data has been updated here. So let me go for a small example now. Okay. Now I'll go to the FIORI. Okay, see here.
Sorry, my quick question.
Yeah, please.
So how does this transport work for FIORI? So you are doing the transport in S4 or do you have a separate FIORI transport mechanism?
How transports means you're talking from the FIORI
now you created a new house bank, right? So how that is being transported from dev to QA?
From FIORI to S4, I'm right?
No. From dev FIORI to QA FIORI.
Okay, that is what I'm telling you. The dev FIORI to the application. So here, only you're creating the house bank's accounts only. Only you're creating the house bank accounts only. Okay, directly in the field. This is going to be triggered with the transports. All of you already remember. This is get triggered with the help of transport. Once you move this master data to the production, and then you need to log in. So there will be a separate, means this, whatever the FIORI I'm going to be using as a development and quality, this is only restricted to the development and quality. The data will not flow to the production. For the production, I'll be having a separate FIORI access to the production here. So you see that house bank details have been transported from the development to quality and the quality to the production. But I see only the house bank details here. I see only this information, but I don't see the house bank accounts. For the house bank accounts, so okay, for the production, there will be a separate FIORI connection will be established as a OData connectivity. You cannot use the same FIORI which you have activated for the development and quality.
So do we need to create the details again in production? Manually?
In production again, it is a separate FFID. You have to take a license. You have to take FFID, okay, and firefighter access ID, and you have to create that bank account.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay, that is the one activity. Some activity will be there. Okay, it's a risk actually. So what you will do, you can have some FIORI transportation mechanism from the development to quality and quality to production also. That is a separate activity that will be done by the UI5 consultants. Okay, now if I go to, okay, now for example, I'm showing the FIORI, this is the FIORI and everything. For example, if I go to SAP library, okay, now I'll go to the SAP library, it's very, very important. SAP FIORI library. This is called as SAP FIORI library. Here I can go to the all apps for SAP S4HANA. I want to see all the apps. So you can see all the apps over here. It is loading the data. There are totally 13,314 apps are available as on today. According to the new version of SAP S4HANA, 13,314 apps are available. Now, in this 13,314 apps, I want to search for one of the bank app. What is the app here? So for example, manage house bank. I'm looking for one of the app, manage house bank. I want this app, okay? So I'm pressing enter. I'll get the details about that particular app here. So this is what exactly I told, that manage house bank. You can also use the transaction FI12_H bank. If I go to the GUI, I can also use the transaction code. Instead of coming, okay, you can, yesterday also I told that there is a new transaction was established, FI12_H bank. You can see this is the transaction. If I come here, this is the GUI transaction, but in the back end, what we are going to be using as a FIORI. Now, what type of app it is? What type of app it is? Very, very important. There are three types of apps will be there in the FIORI. One is going to be called as transactional app. Second one is going to be called as analytical app. Third one is going to be called as a fact sheet. Third one is going to be called as a fact sheet app. Whatever the transactions you are going to be making, any transactions you are making, like for example, I'm posting some vendor invoices or customer invoice, I'm posting some journal ledger entries, I'm posting some asset acquisition, any transactions you are going to be making, those apps are going to be categorized under the transactions. You want to analyze some of the apps. I want to analyze what is my total accounts payable, what is my asset history sheet. Some analytical apps will be there. You're going to be seeing the reports, some analytical apps and everything. Those are going to be categorized. Fact sheets apps are nothing but you're seeing some facts about that, like GL balance, vendor balance, customer balance, everything you can categorize under the fact sheet. So I'll show that everything. Now this manage house bank is an app. Whether it is what type of app it is, Mahesh. So here you can see here, this app is completely, you are going to be calling it as the SAP GUI fact sheet. This is going to be called as the SAP GUI app. Very, very important. Neither it is a transactional app, neither it is an analytical app, neither it is a fact sheet app. What type of app it is going to be called as a SAP GUI app. and the required. Okay, if I want to run this manage house bank through the FIORI, what are my required? The required back end product should be your SAP S4HANA, definitely 100%. So I'm going to be using the S4. S4 is nothing but your SAP HANA, SAP S4HANA application. If you don't have this backend, the front end is the FIORI and the backend is going to be called your SAP S4. Very, very important. The first requirement, it is clearly telling me that the required back product should be your SAP S4. Now, as I told you that, how to see that, okay? Now, as I told you that, you had to go to the system. I told that, go to the status. Here you have the product versions, go to the product version. And here you can see whether your backend application is SAP S4HANA or not. So you have to go to the product version and you can see here, yes, my dear friend, the backend application I'm working on front end, that is nothing but your backend is SAP S4HANA. You can see here S4 core on-premise system. Very good. Okay, now next one. Okay, what is the app launch title? The title of your app is nothing but manage house bank. Means here, if I come and see here, there are so many applications. You can see here, very, very important point here. You can see here, these are the so many tiles you can see here. These are the tiles you are activated. These are the tiles you are activated. So what is the tile you're going to be looking? Okay, the tile which I'm going to be looking in my app store is nothing but manage house bank. So here, whether this app is available or not, then you have to search. If the app is not available, for example, I want this app. If I don't find this app, then I cannot create any bank accounts. Definitely 100%. I cannot create any house bank accounts. So I'm searching for this app, whether this app is there or not. I'm giving it the search option, manage house banks. Now it is trying to retrieve that particular app. If the app is not available here, if the app is not available, then what is the next step you have to do that? You have to take an approval from your manager, and you have to take an approval from your manager, and you have to consult a consultant called as the UI5 consultant. You have to get in touch base with your UI5 consultant. Who is your UI5 consultant? He is called as the FIORI consultant. You have to ask him, hey, FIORI consultant, can you please activate this app to my account ID? To my accounts, not for other accounts, to Mr. Mahesh account. What is your account ID, Mr. Mahesh? So this app is not available. We did not find this match with the house bank. That is the reason we don't find to create. This app is not available. Even if I want to go home, this is the home. Even if I search here, if I want to find out the app finder, okay, there is the app finder is there. Click on this user and you see there is the app finder will be there. If you click on this app finder, even if you're searching, these are the apps which are available. Even if I'm searching here also, I don't find this app. Okay, see here, manage bank account. I'm looking in all bank, no app to the display, means this app is not at all available, my dear friends. No, it is not available. Mahesh, this is not activated to your user ID. If you click on this user ID, you can see this is your user ID. This is your user ID, Mahesh. This app is not activated, or it is not installed, and it is not been activated to your user ID. You have to take your approval from your manager and give the app ID number so that I will activate. How do I know that? I'll give only the name of your app. The app name is the manage bank accounts. Can you give the app ID also? The UI5 consultants are going to ask you to give the app ID. So how do I know what is the app ID? Don't get panicked. Go to the SAP FIORI library and go to your house bank, and here you can see this is the app ID, FI12_H bank. Please, all of you, please make a note of this. This is your bank ID, app ID. You have to give the reference of this bank app ID to your UI5 consultant. Then they will see that whether this app ID is compressed. Okay, this is very, very important here. Not all the app IDs can be activated. No. Okay, I have given this app ID, and this can be only used to your desktop and the tablet, not to the mobile. You can install your FIORI in the mobile also, but you cannot access this particular manage house bank through the mobile app. So direct, okay, either you can install it in the desktop or in the tab. Very, very important, my dear friends. So I given this app ID to my FIORI consultant. Now what he's going to do? Yes. What is your backend? I told the backend is your SAP S4HANA. Backend is always your SAP S4HANA. Now I'll go to the backend, very, very important. I'll go to the backend, I'll go to the product information, and I can see what is the backend SAP S4HANA 2020 release. Very good. Now I'll come to this particular manage house bank. Just come down here. You have it called the implementation information. All of you can see here implementation information. Click on the implementation information. Implementation information, and here you can see please select the delivery date. The implementation information below only appears for the app version delivered on this date. Very, very important. Whether this app is supported to my 2020 because I'm using the SAP S4HANA 2020 on premise. But here I can see it is the SAP S4HANA 2021. If I scroll down, yes, this app is supported for 2020, 1909, 1809, and 1709, and also I can see 1610 also it is supported. So don't worry. So you're working on 2020, yes, it will be supported. Definitely I can see that app is available. If I select the 2020, it is throwing an error? No. Yes, it can be managed your house bank to your 2020 server. Yes, the FIORI consultants are telling me, yes, Mahesh, we can go and install this app to you. Yes, this is permittable for 2020 release. Definitely. Okay, now they will come down. Is there any important notes should be get implemented? Yes, important notes. SAP is suggesting me any notes has to be get implemented before I go and install this app to you. Before I activate, not install, before I activate this app to you. So they will go through this particular notes and say that whether this front end node, the front end is your FIORI node and the back end is nothing but your SAP node, that is the SAP S4HANA node. They will go and study this. Any further nodes to be get implemented. Okay, so once they understood about the importance of the node, they will come to the installation. Yes, this is the installation. They will come to the installation, and this app consists of the front-end components such as the user interface. What is my user interface? OData connectivity. If I don't have this user interface between the FIORI to the S4, whatever the data you are going to be creating, the data will not flow to your S4. Very, very important. So first, what they will do here? What they will do here? They will go to the FIORI now. The FIORI 2020, yes. Now see here, very, very important. Now they'll come here. Product version, very, very important. SAP FIORI for SAP S4HANA 2020, example. Yes, SAP FIORI for SAP S4HANA 2020. Yes, front end and my back end both are available. 2020, 2020, very good. Now come to the back end. Your back end is nothing but your S4HANA. Back end is SAP S4 2020. Just now I verified, Mahesh. Yes, it is a 2020. Very good. Go to the software component version, S-Core 105, initial service pack 00. Very good. Initial service pack. Okay, you can see here. Initial service pack is 00. Initial shipment stock is 00. Now go to the installed software components. Come to the S-Core. S-Core 105. Initial shipment stock is going to be called as a 00. Very good. You can see here. Initial shipment stock is 00 and S-Core 105. Very good. Okay. So yes. The front end is matching. The front end is okay with all the prerequisites, and the back end is also available with all the prerequisites. Okay, I don't have any problem in the installation. Now I go for the configuration now. So FIORI Launchpad configuration. This is the FIORI Launchpad configuration. What is the transaction code you are using as a technical? The FI12_H. Very, very important. You are using this particular transaction code. Very good. Now here. Very, very important here. Here you can see here, this is what exactly the technical log. Okay, you're going to be seeing the bank account for the OData connectivity. And here, these are the support information you're going to be provided. Like this is the information you have to see. For example, Mahesh, can you show me another, for example, can you show me another app? This is you're showing as a GUI app. Can you show some transactional app or analytical app? For example, I'll show here. Okay.
Can you do? Mahesh, can you look at Park and Post?
Yeah, I'll show that everything. I'll show that, sir. Wait 1 second, sir. I'll show everything, sir. Okay, but don't worry. So I want to look out for this app, Mahesh. Days payable. Just some analytical app, for example. Okay, show me this app. Yeah. Days payable outstanding, Mahesh. Can you show me the days payable outstanding analysis report? For example, if I come to the GUI, Mahesh, okay, this is where exactly I can see the payable. Okay, what is the total payable I can see from yesterday? Also, I told that in the last class. FBL1N report. I'll go to the FBL1N. And if I give one of the vendor or a customer example, now what is the total open item, outstanding payable open item? This is what exactly, but I want to see in the FIORI. So this is called as the days payable outstanding analysis. This is the analytical app. Now just click on it. Yeah, see, it is going to be called as the days payable. Okay, this is the tab ID is going to be called as the analytical app. You can see it is the analytical app, very, very important here. So for what line of business? It is for the finance, sales, sourcing, and procurement and supply chain related line of business. Okay, it is going to be supported. This is the app ID. You can see this is the app ID, and this is supported in the desktop and the tablet, exclusive on the SAP HANA database. No other databases can be supported. Only exclusive on the SAP HANA DB only. Now, if I come to the implementation features, okay, if I go to the 2020 initial shipment, because I'm implementing, I want to activate this app in the 2020 initial shipment stock 2020. I'm selecting only 2020. Now, if I come to the installation, I look for the front end and I look for the back end. Now, here the configuration is nothing but UI5 application configuration. Very, very important here. All of you can see here, very, very important here. And this is my OData service. This is, I told that OData service. This OData service has to be get activated. This OData service has to be get activated. If I don't activate the OData service activity, the data will not flow from the FIORI to your S4. The OData is nothing but your interface connectivity between the FIORI to the S4. You can see this is my OData connectivity. Who will be activating this? This activation will be done by your UI5 consultants. UI5 consultant will be activating this. Okay, the following OData service must be activated on the front end server, and user requires the PFCG authorization for the front end and the back end. Okay, now let me go to the PFCG. PFCG. I'll come to the transaction code called the PFCG. Very, very important. So what is the user requires the PFCG authorization for the front end and the back end system. Very, very important here. Okay. So now what is that I require here? I require here. Okay. This is the role name. This is the role name. Just copy this role name, SAP business role name. Come to your SAP and give the role here. This is the role should be get activated to Mr. Mahesh. Mahesh want this app, not all the users. I cannot give the access to all the users because Mahesh is working on accounts payable side. He required this app should be get installed, and I'm giving the access to Mahesh only, not for others. So now I'm going to this role, and click on the display. This is the role. Okay, very, very important. This is the role I'm going to be giving to the accounts payable manager. And who are the users here? If I click on the users, I can see these, all the users are having the authorization to this particular role. Very, very important. No, only Mahesh should be get provided. I want to remove this, all the remaining except 909. I want to deactivate everybody from this role. So the user, what is going to do? Your security consultant, he is going to deactivate this role to all the users, and he's activating only this role to this particular user. If I don't have the access, even I find that app here. Okay, for example, echo daily payable here. This is the app I'm looking. Daily payable, analytical app. Yes. If I go into the app, I'm able to see that particular app, but when I'm clicking on that app, it is giving that you are not authorized. The app was installed perfectly. The FIORI consultant, what they have done, they have installed the app. I don't have any kind of problem. They have installed that app. You can see here, the daily payables outstanding. You can see here, the app is available. Daily payables outstanding. Is it same app? What I'm going to be looking? You can see here. Daily payables outstanding data. This is the analytical app. Mahesh, definitely I see that app is installed, but when I'm clicking on this app, it is giving some authorization issue. Means you're not okay, means this app is not access to your user ID. So can you go and check what is the role name and you should ask your basis or security consultant to activate this role so that you can have the access to that. They will come to this role and they will see whether the role was activated. If the role is not activated, you cannot access that, even though the app was installed and you can see that app by logging to your user ID, but I cannot access by because the role is missing to your user ID. So this role has to be activated. So it is the role based. It is not a functional, but it's a completely role based access has been given to you. Very, very important here. So it's a very, very important that okay. So the technical consultants, where they're going to be doing all the technical mapping, these are the parameters they're going to be looking, and this is the word data connectivity should be get provided. If the word data connectivity is not provided, you cannot see the back end, the front end version is going to be, and they're going to see what is the technical name of this particular app, and they're going to be activating this. This is the duty of your FIORI and the security consultant. Your duty as a functional consultant, okay, it is not related to you, but your related option is going to be, they will ask you the app ID, which app ID you want to be get installed. So if you provide this app ID, they will see the compatibility. And if this is compatible for the 2020, then they will tell that, yes, Mahesh, you take the approval from your manager and we can post and we can access, okay, we can give the access to the particular app so that can start working on it. This is a completely analytical app. This is completely, you're going to be calling it as analytical app. Earlier app, manage house bank, that is going to be called as SAP GUI app, front-end GUI app. But this is the analytical app. If I go to this analytical app, you can see this is the app, okay, payable, outstanding, okay. Now, if I click, I can see the values directly here, but I want to access to that. Just click on it. Okay. Failed to the initialize, that means this app is not activated. So this is something like I'm going to be getting this app. Okay, so where it is going to be failing now, I need to report to my user because I had to tell to my UI5 consultant that this app is giving this error. So failed to initialize means this is not loading properly. Who is the responsible? I am not the responsible if it is not loading. UI5 consultant, you have to go and see why this app is not properly updating and why this app is not giving the results to me. It's a very, very important. Now I'll show you how to log in here. Okay, just I'll be closing everything. Okay.
Mahesh,
So,
just
yes.
a question on this one. So I believe these are all standard SAP delivered apps. So what
Exactly.
happens really if we've done any sort of a customization in the GUI and we want to create that app under this channel?
Yes, you had to give the requirements. So how do you give the requirement to your developer? Same thing, the requirements has to be get. Okay, Mahesh, I already have a custom related report, Mahesh, example. Okay, a report is available. Okay, that's it. Okay, asset balance report or customer balance report or vendor balance report is the Z report, Mahesh. Z report, okay. And okay, the Z report is a GUI report, Mahesh, but I want to create it as a FIORI app. Yes, definitely 100%. Okay, so give the same parameters to your FIORI UI5 consultant. First, you explain him in the GUI, okay, how this report works and what parameters we have taken, what are the input screen and what is how the output screen it look like. So once you give the user parameters and once you explain the functional specification to your UI5 consultant, they will convert the same report of Z report to the FIORI application or the FIORI app. It's possible, yes. We have done so many, sir. In my career, in the current project also, which I'm working here, nearly because it's a completely food and beverage company in Australia. So we developed with UFI concern nearly about 28 to 30 custom apps we have developed. Apart from the standard, they want the complete they want a complete report analysis based on the number of customers they're supplying, that they're taking the food on the daily basis report, something like what type of product they're going to be, this product, how many days they have been supplied, this product, how many weeks we are supplied. So it's a completely custom based configuration. 70% is a customizing project it is. So we have developed nearly 28 to 30 custom apps for the requirements. So initially, So these are the apps. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, these are the apps. When I log into my system, I'm able to see my login ID. As I told you that this is my login ID. And when I come into the login, if I in this home screen, I can see these are the apps I can see in my home screen. Everything I can see here. Okay, journal entries. Okay, periodic processing apps are there. Everything I segregated like this, because just like a segregation. How do you do the segregation in the SAP GUI? Same thing. All my master data related apps I segregated like this. All my journal entry apps I'm going to be segregating like this. Okay, very, very important here. If I want to post any transactions, I'll go to the journal entries. For example, I want to post one journal entry. I'll come to this particular app called as the journal entry. This is called as the transactional app. This is going to be called as a transactional app. Normally, what you do in the SAP GUI, when I want to post any journal entries, normally what you do, you'll come to the slash and F-02, F-02, and this is the journal entry screen you're posting in the GUI. The same, I can do the transaction from the FIORI. You come to the journal entry transaction. You will not find the transaction code. Please, all of you remember that. You will not find the transaction code. You have to identify the app by knowing the app name. If I come to the journal entry, this is my journal entry screen. In the real time, it will not take this much of time because it is a practical server. So because so many users are working on the FIORI, so it will take some time to. But in the real time, every day there will be monitoring will be done and the refresh will be done. This much of time will not. It a fraction of seconds it will get activated. Don't worry. So these all are, so as I told you that transactional apps will be there, analytical apps will be there, and the fact sheet apps will be there. Very, very important here. So this is the analytical app which I'm going, this is the transactional app which I'm going to be showing here. This is the posting of the journal entries. So whatever the house bank I created just now, whatever the bank accounts I created, so you are created with a new bank account ID with the GUI app. That is what exactly you have created with the GUI app. And I can see here, I see the flow of information. What is the transaction code? FI12_H bank. This is the transaction I'm using. So for your company code, and you can see for your company code, how many bank accounts are there? There are total, these are the house banks you have created. Your bank is a HDFC bank. If I select and if I go into the details, I can see the details over here. But where is the bank account ID, Mahesh? Where is this is the address. Okay, bank, give the bank name, HDFC, enter. Okay, this is the bank name. If you want to go for another bank, something like other entries or something, but where is the bank account name, Mahesh? For the bank account, you should not use the bank account, this particular you have to use the common transaction code called as FI12. Go to the FI12, select your house bank, so company code, select your house bank, and double click on the bank accounts. Now you can see here your bank account IDs are created. If I don't find the bank account ID, then I cannot post any transaction. This is transactional app. You can see this is the transactional app. Same thing, I'm posting through the FIORI. What is the date? Date I'm going to be giving. Okay, for example, the date is going to be, for example, the date is going to be 31/11/2021. And I'm giving the same posting date here. Same posting date here. Which company code? 1710. User. Okay, what is the transaction date? Okay, document type is yes. Any mandatory fields? No. Now I want to debit, I want to credit. I want to debit, I want to credit. Okay, what is the debit? Debit account. Which account you are going to be debiting? Okay, so these are the line items. Okay, debit account. Go to the help. Okay, these all are going to be called as the GL accounts. Now, which account you are looking? I want to debit to some expenses account, Mahesh, for example. So which expenses account you want to debit? Okay, these all are going to be called as your expenses account. I want to debit to travel expenses, something like, okay. So you take the travel expenses for meals. Okay, I'm debiting this account. Which account you're creating? Give the account credit. Mahesh, I want to credit to the main bank account. This account is getting created. Very good. What is the debit amount? Debit amount is $1,000 Mahesh. Very good. So here it is showing as a credit balance. Okay, but it is going to be showing as a credit amount. Okay, I'll show that. Okay, now click on this arrow mark. For the debit, you had to give the cost center. For the debit, you have to always give the cost center. Okay. For the debit, you have to give the cost center and other information. Here you have a called as add the line item. If you want to add another line item, you can add the another line item. If the line items are going to be the sufficient, you can take the line items, okay, which are going to be, okay. Okay. So amount 1000. Okay. Now you can see the transaction balance is going to be the $1,000. Why? Because you have given only the debit balance. You are not given the credit balance. Okay, where is the credit balance? Okay, credit balance here. Okay, so 1000. Now the balance has become 0. It's a credit. You're going to be giving it as a credit. One is the debit. Another one is going to be called as a credit. Now you can see the balance has become as a 0. Now all of you, please, very, very important here. Now here you can see here, okay. Now you can see here, the credit and the debit balance has been provided. Now what you have to do here, verify all the same thing. If I come to the FIORI, so if I come to the SAP GUI, I'll do from the GUI like this, same thing, F-02, give the same document date and the posting date. And I'm giving the debit account, but instead of 40 here, what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using the debit account and the credit account like this. So this information I'll show in the tomorrow's class because I don't want to burden you by the FIORI. I'll show in the tomorrow class. So you can see the debit is $1,000 and the credit is nothing but the $1,000. Directly you can give the account numbers and you can debit and you can do the credit here. This is through the FIORI. This is called as the transactional app. This is not analytical app. This is the transactional app. And if you want to cancel or if you want to come out, you can come out by pressing back arrow. Do you want to leave? Yes, I want to leave. I don't want to post any transactions. So do you want? If you see any kind of errors, you can see there are 2 errors are there. Just click on this error icon. You will see all the errors. Okay, what type of errors have been made here? Everything you can see. Now it is just moving to the back. Okay, so there's a reason I'm not able to see that. Okay, see, I came back to the original screen. I not posted any transactions. I came back to the original screen. So the continuation of the FIORI class will be tomorrow's class. Okay, any doubts here? Anyone has any doubts?
No.
So tomorrow class is very, very important. Why? Because as I told you that until or unless if I don't have the house bank, I cannot make any house outgoing payments. Yesterday we are doing some outgoing payments, F-53. For the outgoing payments, I need the house bank. So we have created one house bank and tomorrow we are going to do this posting through the FIORI and through the SAP GUI also tomorrow. So I'll explain this particular part in the tomorrow's FIORI's class.
Mahesh, just a quick thing really, like when you do a customization, does that mean you have to create a OData service to talk to FIORI then?
Oh, definitely, sir. For every app which is getting connected to your backend, there should be OData.
And that is done within GUI itself, yeah?
Yeah, GUI itself. Yes, you're correct. But that has to be get connected through your FIORI. Okay.
Yep. No worries.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Tomorrow we'll class it.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to visit our Vimeo page and follow for more upcoming videos.